one stage, one epic band.
No way.
My Chemical Romance.
Feels like the first time.
At Target Field, August 24th.
Operator, or could you help me place this call?
Grab your tickets before they're gone.
And there she's acting happy inside her handsome home. And me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips and getting stoned.
Get all the details today at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Calendar. Guaranteed human, though I'm a shell of my former self. But that's okay, too. I'm common. He's tend to be the legendary Mark Rosen.
August 24th, man, the Twins will be right in the middle of that pennant race next. You'll take some time off from watching Royce Lewis and...
Boy, I
can't wait.
The Twins have just become your own personal punching bag. Give them a chance. They haven't even reported a spring training.
Well, I just said
yet.
they're going to be... I know.
How things have changed. You used to be the
know.
biggest champion and supporter of this club.
I have. You're right. I was.
Checked with my sources during this past break, and they tell me that Antetokounmpo and his representation have started conversations with the Bucks about his future, whether it's a good... Oh, there it is.
There's a headline.
Whether he should stay or should he go? And they're going to have those discussions. How would he look in a Timberwolves uniform?
He'd look great, but it ain't going to happen.
Would you trade Anthony Edwards for Antetokounmpo?
He's a hell of a player.
He's good.
He's damn good. It's, again, different positions, obviously, and the impact. I mean, the Bucks are going nowhere with him.
They're going nowhere fast.
Yeah. I think it's a dicey thing.
Would you take him here on this club?
Well, of course you take him, but I mean, I'm not saying...
Not for Ant.
Not for Ant, though. No.
No, I'm saying join forces with him.
Well, oh my God, yeah. I mean, Gobert keeps playing like he did last night. That would help. I mean, again, he was a big force in that game against the lousy Pelicans, but they were fortunate to pull that game out in overtime. But yeah, this seems like this story never goes away. He's always like, it's a big tease. Like, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? He's under contract. How many teams? Of course, a lot of teams. And of course, he'll end up with the Lakers somehow. That'll be they already have a center, I think, last time I looked.
Well, we know he won't end up with Dallas.
No, he will not.
If they did, they'd trade him right away the next day.
Yeah, oh, my. What a disaster.
You're speaking of your Wolves club. They win last night,
yes.
But I did not see it. Socks and paint
I understand.
and a bat of asphalt. What I'm told is it was a sloppy game. And in the Fish Rock Factory West Side, this is what I read. Mm-hmm. This to me is just, again, I guess I shouldn't be astonished, is probably too strong of a word, but maybe I shouldn't even be surprised anymore. But here's what it says. Through one quarter of the season, the Wolves' defense has been inconsistent at best. Their number 12 rating is not good enough for the standards they know they can reach. Before the game, Coach Chris Finch used the right word to describe how the team looked on that end of the floor. Kind of started the season a little bored. That's not something that you want to admit to, but a team that's had two deep runs, I think we just maybe started the season a little bit flat and bored, and just realizing you got to put the work in. It's going to be tough. West is going to be brutal, and we just had to get back to playing better defense. They came in bored.
Yeah, they're bored.
How many people listening right now, if you said, this is what they used. This is what Roy Finn did. You know Roy Finn, the legendary weatherman, who was one of my favorite instructors I've ever had. My two very favorite instructors. Three of my favorite instructors. Second grade teacher, Mrs. Culleton. Fifth grade teacher, Mr. Kaiser, and then Roy Findon
at Brown.
Yeah. And he would say, because they always wanted to instill in you that you ain't going to make any money in this business unless you become the legendary Mark Rosen. But otherwise, there's just not a lot of money in radio, especially in small market radio.
Correct.
But he would say, we were on Lake Street, and he'd say, but when the next bus pulls up, walk onto the bus and say, how many of you would like to go work today on the radio station rather than your regular job? And he said, everybody would raise their hands.
Pretty much.
And the reason I bring that up is the same thing. It's like, how are they bored playing basketball? What a great life. But again, maybe it's too cushy with the guaranteed money and this and and the 5-star hotels and the charter jets and the wine, the women, and the stuff.
Well,
how are you bored?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I watched most of that game, and then I was able to, obviously flip over and watch the brick wall that is Wallstead and the Wild shutting out Connor McDavid.
The numbers are
staggering.
astonishing.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
The numbers that he's posting are like Mr. Zero. You know who Mr. Zero is?
I'm not sure what.
Mr. Brimsick from Eveleth.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's old school. I thought you were referring to some.
Then they went out
or something.
This after he said we have to play better defense.
Right,
He goes
right.
Then they went out and barely played any in a first half. That New Orleans posted 68 points, including 43 in the second quarter,
in front of about 800 people. And I will tell you,
how is that acceptable?
It's not. And I will tell you, they were very fortunate to get that game into overtime. And credit the Wolves for playing defense at the right time, but they waited till the end, and it was almost too late. They came an eyelash away from losing that game in regulation against a 3-win New Orleans team. They play them again on, what is today? They play tomorrow night again. They're staying in New Orleans. And Ant put on a show, and it was dazzling in particular in the second half. I think he scored 40 some points, and they put 149 points on the board. But they just have these lapses, and you got to give some credit to a team that's not going anywhere, and they were knocking down. Well, yeah, they were making a lot of 3-point shots early on, but that's not acceptable. And as I said, they were fortunate to get it to overtime. Then Randall came alive, and Dante played real good defensively. And
Stifle Tower said,
he played real well.
There's great things we do every night, but it's about doing the boring things, doing the little things, and do them every single minute, especially at the beginning of the game. Yep. That's when you set the tone for the whole game. That matters. That's important. Don't they know this? Of course they do. Do they not have any pride or professionalism over there at that place? Can the coach not get the message across? Where is the general manager? Where is A-Rod? Where is Laurie? How did they allow this to happen? Game in, game out. And I know they went to the Western Conference Finals last year and the year before that. I get all that, but it's just like, to me, it's like I don't need that.
I think it's a makeup of a lot of teams in the NBA.
They're not the only one.
There are a lot of teams like that, and the exception again is the team that won the championship. If any team you would think might relax right now, but Oklahoma City, I think, is hell bent on going 81-1 this year, and I'm not exaggerating. They lost the one game where they blew a 20-point lead, I think, to Portland. They've lost one game. And they played. I think they beat up on the Steph-less Warriors last night. They won by 12 on the road. But every single game, they're playing, and they know everybody's looking at playing the Thunder like they're the champ. Like this is our chance to knock out the champs. The rest of the league,
the champs are getting their best game, out of every opponent.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they keep winning and winning and winning more. And
polished professional.
That's the exception. That's the team you got to look at.
We'll break. We'll come back. There's more to get to, including the Wall in St. Paul, some Vikings talk, and other items as well. Here on the Common Man program with Common Tenenby and Mark Rosen on the Fan.
It's a Wild Wednesday here on KFAN, and we're taking your talkbacks for tickets all day long. Use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app to give us your final score prediction for tomorrow's Wild versus Flames game. Get the score right for your shot at a pair of tickets to Wild versus Stars on December 11th. Get all the details at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Couple 13-14 past on Common. There's Tenenby, Mark Rosen here as well. List radio, Tenenby, is what kind of radio?
Lazy radio.
And we love lazy radio here on the Common Man program. CBS Sports loves doing, they have your power rankings, including quarterback power rankings. We've got the best quarterback in pro football if you're looking at the list upside down. He's at 32, and so we don't need to dive into that. And again, this is in the here and now. I guess if the three of us said, who do you think the best quarterback in pro football is? And you were saying, not just for, this season and what we're looking at. Well, I'd probably put Mahomes number one.
Pretty hard not to still.
But right now, just because of where we're at in the season, from every week, who do you think CBS Sports has as the best quarterback, the number one quarterback in pro football?
Wow.
Tennessee, you could play along too.
I was going to say Matthew Stafford.
I would have to probably agree with that. I mean, I'm thinking of the possibilities with the Josh Allen.
Well, he's number 2.
Who's number 2? Matthew
Stafford.
Oh, okay.
It says his world-beating stretch came to a halt in the Rams' surprise loss to Carolina, but he's had the most prolific passing campaign of anyone this year. He's still on pace for 45 tutty passes, but they have him at number 2. And again, that's why this is actually it's silly, because if he doesn't fumble that ball and he throws a tutty and they win, he's probably still at number 1.
Well, you're talking about the best quarterback right now this season.
What they're saying.
Drake May.
As I said, Drake May.
They have Drake May as number 1. It says, say hello to your MVP favorite. In year 2, May looks like the most confident passer in the game. He's averaging almost 9 yards per throw, elevating every piece of the Patriots' upstart attack. And they have, I don't know if Vrabel's considered a quarterback whisperer. I do know this.
He's considered a defensive guy.
Yeah, he's everywhere. He seems, because he won Super Bowls as a player, right?
Yeah.
Several.
With Belichick.
And his coaching resume is really good
Tennessee
as well.
was pretty good for a couple of years with him there, and they didn't ever have like a quarterback to work with.
That's exactly right. And now, and the May kid, I've not watched a lot of him. I watched more of him the other night when they played was that the Monday night or Sunday night?
Giants? Wait,
yeah,
who did they
it
play?
Was Monday night. It was the Giants.
Yeah, they're awful.
But I watched him play, don't tell that to Detroit.
That's true.
They won by the skin of their teeth in that game. May just does. He's really, really good. That's the hope of every Vikings fan, that J.J. McCarthy can turn into that, because that May kid, I talked about this with Tennessee when we were talking about Volstead earlier, about how we've seen guys have great games, great weeks, great months, great seasons, even a couple, and then they may go by the wayside. So that's what, Volstead looks great now. We don't know. May could end up, who knows, going another direction, but it sure doesn't look like it. He looks like he just seems to get, they were talking in the game, and I remember there was a certain part of their game they didn't like from last year.
Right.
And they say, well, he's done a complete 360 from that. He is now, that is a strength of his game, that he's a student of the game and improves, that he's already improved from year 1, leaps and bounds.
Well, that's what you hope for any of these quarterbacks, including the guy that's going to be starting for the Vikings on Sunday. That's what the Denver Broncos have looked at with Bo Nix in a different way. They're 10-2. And I'd say, Nix has done obviously a much better job than he did a year ago. Jacksonville's been riding their quarterback for a while now, Trevor Lawrence. And he's, a lot of people like to go, he's never going to make it. Well, they're 8-4. Sometimes, you got to get the benefit of your 4th place schedule. And I think New England's schedule has probably been pretty easy, but that's not taking anything away from Drake May or that team. I'm anxious to see how they'll perform in the postseason. And even to go against a team like, let's just say Baltimore, will probably win that division. They're playing 500 ball right now. They're 6-6. or even tennis Kansas City Chiefs, if they can get in there as a wild card team.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, above average. Let me ask you this.
The Chiefs are done. Not only are they not the best team in the AFC, but they're not even the best team in their division.
Well, they're not, and that's why tennis is going to owe me $50. But
it's going to be so weird owing you money. It's been a long time.
It's been a while. But I mean, if you were to take, just to further that thought, let's say New England faces Kansas City, and they won't have to play them they'll probably get a bye because they have the best record right now, barely ahead of Denver. Let's just say New England played Kansas City.
Let's say New England played Kansas City.
You would take New England, of course, 100% over the Chiefs. Is that what you're saying?
No, I would take Kansas City.
You would? Okay.
In the playoffs.
Really?
I won't bet against. I can't.
Well, that kind of reinforces the point of being tested. You could win how many, as the Vikings did last year.
I mean, I'm doing a little idolizing and pedestalizing.
Well,
I realize that, but I just think Mahomes is because it does seem like, for instance, you brought up Josh Allen earlier. You look at the matchups between those.
Yep.
Regular season, I think Josh Allen's 4 or 5-0. Postseason, Mahomes is like 4 or 5-0. When it comes to when you really need to win in postseason, Mahomes has bested Josh Allen every time. So, but I certainly, it would, I wouldn't go no-brainer Kansas City wins that game. And then again, a lot of it depends of how they go. I mean, if Kansas City is to get in, that means they didn't limp in. They went on a run here. So then, you build up some momentum and stuff.
Well, I think this is so wide open right now. Both conferences. I mean, you can pick your favorite team, and you obviously can. And the AFC, I mean, I think looking at who thought New England would be in a position to challenging, without, the post-Brady Belichick, like, how quickly this would be a potential Super Bowl team. And, you look at the rest of the teams, you can throw them in a hat and go, okay, is Jacksonville going to be that big of a threat? Is Indy hit the wall? The Broncos.
Well, I think
really
Indy is in trouble with their quarterback. He's got a broken
Daniel.
fibula. I mean,
I don't know
again, unless they've updated that injury and it's not, that's what I saw. He had a broken fibula. I don't even know how you can play.
And the NFC, I mean, I just was reading this story before I came in here. The idea that the Eagles, last time I looked, they won the Super Bowl last year. They're 8-4. They still got a good lead over Dallas, on charging Dallas Cowboys. Their offensive coordinator had his house egged, only in Philly, because they've lost 2 in a row and they haven't looked good offensively. Pretty dangerous team, I would say, still. I just don't know about right now.
But if you remember, it was 2 years ago when the Eagles were like 10-1 or 11-1, and they lost 5 in a row.
Right.
So maybe I think some people are looking at that saying this is eerily, now every year is different, every team is different, but they're saying it's eerily similar.
Well, even though they stubbed their toe in kind of a trap game last week, I'd still, if push came to shove, I would take the Rams right now as a team to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I mean, and there's going to be some, obviously we got the 3 teams in the NFC North. They're going to be, trying to bite each other's heads off with the Bears, Packers, and Lions.
Packers and Bears play each other twice in the next 3 weeks. So that'll be interesting.
It will be. And then,
one of those teams could go from easily winning the division. The other one could be out of the playoffs.
NFC South, does anybody think Tampa Bay is a legitimate threat? No.
If they get healthy, I think they might. And I don't know what they're health. They've just been so beat up physically this year.
That's the problem. It looks like the strength, again, with the 3 teams in the NFC West, with the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers, you can't discount them. All going to be, playoff teams, the way it looks right now. So,
Colts quarterback Danny Jones reportedly has a fractured fibula, planning to play. The fracture is described as non-displaced, stable fracture, which sometimes is playable.
Yeah.
Good luck. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I know it.
Number 3 on their list as we go to break.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look no further than the team to your east. They have Jordan Love is the 3rd best quarterback in pro football.
This year? I don't know about that.
Look at his numbers. Look at the record.
I know.
He's. I still wonder if there were Green Bay fans out there who ripped me when I said I liked the decision to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, even though they didn't need
Why did you get him? No, you're an idiot. We needed a wide receiver for Aaron. Well, where would that have gotten you? Not very far.
Aaron's got his wide receiver now.
And now you have your. I think Green Bay's got their next quarterback for the next 10, 12 years.
Well, that's their MO. They have 3 quarterbacks for.
I know, but what I'm saying is that there were people that said, why would you draft him when we're that close and Aaron needs a wide receiver? You know why? Because you have to eventually place your quarterback eventually. And so they made the right move. And I think Packer fans are probably happy with the decision. Now, we'll break, come back, and with one more segment to go here on the Common Man program on the Fan.